Alright, we've got work to be doing here. We've only kind of started to sketch in stuff. So let's check our reference. Z, I'm going to drag this down, scale it up. And there's a couple of elements I want to be mindful of here. But I want to get rid of this background. So how do I get rid of the background? Select Paint, Black, and then press Control. Just click and drag in the white area. You can undo, click and drag just a little bit. I'm going to undo all of that. Get some distance, move in towards the figure, and then just go a little slower. That's good. Pretty cool. I love that. Okay, now scale that. I'm going to unclick Paint, press Z to get rid of that, go back to white. There's a couple of things that we want to be mindful of. Now, you do not need your perspective to match up, but if you're thinking about it, keep in mind that 3D.sk is going to have used as little perspective as possible. Okay, it's just going to be one of the things that everybody wants. You don't want a ton of perspective distortion. So I just set that towards the lower end. Okay, and again, I'm not trying to match up 100% with what he's got here. I'm trying to establish some guides and understand form. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about right now. See this curve here and the straight line. We've got a curve to a curve and to a straight line. We need to fix that. That needs to be basically a curve into this straight line. Alright, then we've got this line coming down. This is the gluteus medius, and then another line. Okay, and then ours needs to get cut. Ours is too large. Much too large. So it eclipses the gluteus medius, and we need to bring the gluteus, eclipses the gluteus maximus. Another line that I'm going to look at here is this line between his external obliques and his abdomens. Obliques, abdomens. And see our line? See how much volume we've got there? And then also how much, look at all the depth that we have in here. Okay, now I know I said we need to put the depth in there. He doesn't really have as much depth as we put in there. So it's fine. I want to put it in there. I'm going to take it back out. Also, do we have this kind of caricature where the line goes up? Then you get the rib, and then it goes straight up into the pectoralis? Well, not really. But we could. And then where does the insertion, where does the armpit really fall in when you consider the total height of the pectoralis? See how close it is to the halfway point? Is that what we have? Kind of. In fact, we need to make it a little bit more clear, and we need to pull the pectoralis. Well, I'd say we're within the area. Just don't want to go anywhere below that. All this stuff in green, we need to make sure that we aren't there with the pectoralis. Okay, there's some form, his manubrium and the ribs and all of that. That's a little bit higher than we have, and ours is a little bit more segmented and pushed in. So little things like that are what I'm looking for. Not trying to match it 100%. That's totally uninteresting to me. Even if we end up matching it 100%, the act of doing that is not what's interesting me. What's interesting me is treating this model's body as though it is a map. It's a map I've never seen, and that I just don't understand, or another language I don't understand. And sculpture, for me, is a form of knowledge. To be a sculptor is to learn things in a different way, in my opinion. In my experience, I should say. Okay, and so I just adjusted things. Now I'm going to pull this line. I'm going to start to adjust that, but I don't really know where that line is from a side view. I need to triangulate now. So let's turn this on. Select the side view, drag that up, and I'm just going to say tile selected. Tile selected. There's that line. So that gives me a guide. And yeah, see, we can definitely push ours in quite a bit. Yep. Okay. Now he's on the slenderer side, and actually I'm putting in really massive musculature. I really made his tensor fasciae latae quite a large muscle. That was just my work. Okay. So let's go back to this. And check it out. So you can already see it's starting to look, we've got a better distance there. I'm going to now use the move brush. I'm pressing Alt, push in along the normals. I'm pushing in here. I'm reading the contour change there, where there's green. Same thing here. Perfect. Okay, now we've got a much cleaner sense of these things. So I feel a little more comfortable with that. I need to get his adductors really organized. Okay. I'm going to just round that out. So what I'm doing is just rounding this connection out. Cool. Confused strokes right there in the 6th and 7th rib. Let's see if we can make that clear. Let's go 6th and 7th, so this is going to be 7th right here. Okay, that's my 6th, kind of right there underneath. You might notice this hit, or this plane change. Okay, just trying to get all those little nuances in there. 6th rib. I'm sorry, 7th rib. Let's get that 8th rib. Yeah. There we go. Now that's all making a lot more sense, I think. Emphasizing that 7th, 8th. Okay. And it looks like the 8th is a place where either the external oblique has a hold going in, or something's going on, and then the external oblique is definitely below that. Belly button. Okay. Start to see how that all wrapping itself up. I hope it's starting to make sense. Especially what, I would like to make sense is how I'm using this reference. And also hopefully how I'm not using the reference. Cool. Nice rounded sculptural torso with a lot of information for us. A lot of information about the skeleton underneath, the abdominal muscles, all of that stuff. So let's take a look at a back view. How do you make heads or tails of what's going on there? How do you start to make any sense of all that stuff? I need another view. And so I'm going to load in a 3/4 back view. Only now I'm definitely not keeping all of these views in here. So I'm going to take this front, and I can always bring it back in, but let's just close it out. Close out the side. Okay, and let's select this.